Tens of thousands of people have been lining up in Vatican City to pay their respects and to see the Pope one last time. Here's Sass.
Here at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, crowds of people have gathered to say their final goodbye to Pope Francis.
Walking in, it's such a surreal place, and it's very holy, and seeing the body and just remembering everything that he stood for is very important.
His coffin was carried across St. Peter's Square to the Basilica last night in a big procession. And now tens of thousands of mourners have been filing in to pay their respects.
His message of peace was really different from everyone else, so I think it would be nice to see him like that.
It's the only opportunity I'm going to get to partake in an event like this, I imagine, in my lifetime.
The Vatican says it might even open the Basilica past midnight some nights because of the large queues.
Well, it might be a while, but I think it's a very historical event, and I think it's a very big opportunity to be here.
Pope Francis's coffin will stay here until Friday night, before a big funeral service on Saturday in St. Peter's Square.
It's truly a huge loss for us.
He was a good shepherd to his flock.
With just 10 days left before Election Day, a record number of Aussies have already voted early. The Australian Electoral Commission says more than 540,000 votes were cast on Tuesday when pre-polling opened, which is a 72% increase from the 2022 pandemic-era election. And by the end of yesterday, a massive 1.13 million people in total had cast their ballots. Early voting is only allowed for people who have a valid reason to not vote on election day, and everyone else will head to the polls on the 3rd of May. Now it's time to meet some kids in Canberra who are, well, much better at skipping than I am. Check it out.
They've got fast feet, fearless flips, and flawless form. Meet the Jazzy Jumpers, a junior skipping crew from Canberra who've taken jump rope to the next level.
When I normally tell people that I do skipping as a sport, they normally say I used to do it at school when I was little.
But competitive skipping is a little different to skipping at recess.
So we train a few times every week. So there's lots of practice. We do a lot of speed practice, a lot of drills, and then freestyle.
There's a thing called a mill kick, which is like a handstand, where you bend your legs and you push off the ground.
And in July, some of the Jazzy Jumpers are taking those skills here to Kawasaki in Japan to represent Australia at the 2025 World Jump Rope Championships.
And being able to represent your country is really exciting for your sport.
I've heard they've got really nice gardens and stuff and mountains. It's going to be such a nice place to skip.
It is super nerve-wracking, but it's also really exciting. You just really get to showcase exactly what you've been doing.
Yeah, meeting new people's at the top of my list.
But until then, it's back to training for the big event.
Now it's time for some stories I'd like on the record.
It's actually on the record.
That's what I said.
No, it's not.
Can we just take that last bit off the record? First up to 4 baby Galapagos tortoises, which have hatched at Philadelphia Zoo in the US. And what's really special is their mum is almost 100 years old.
She just became a first-time mom at about 97 years old, probably the oldest that's ever happened for this species.
Galapagos tortoises are critically endangered, so these little guys hatching really is cause for celebration. Okay, I said it, let's move on. Now to China, where after months of preparation and training, the crew of Shenzhou 20 are ready to blast into space. They'll be heading up to the Tiangong space station, which is a bit like the International Space Station, except it's owned by China. It's a whole thing, which started back when the US banned China from the ISS program in 2011. Anyway, while they're up there, they'll be carrying out special space science missions, including testing out some new space technology. And finally, to the world's biggest collection of Minions. Yes, Liesl here from Western Australia has been collecting Minions since 2010. And in that time, she's managed to accumulate 1,035 bits of Minion merch from all over the world. And although she says she's run out of space to keep things, she has no plans to stop collecting anytime soon. Did you get all that?
Just give me a second.
Okay. That's all we've got time for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Where are you up to?
That's all we've got time for today, is it? I don't know, man.